Good morning, everyone. Just going to keep on doing this until people join. Good morning, Gemma, Janice. Good morning. I got to get this done. I'm marking golf balls in case you're wondering what the hell I'm doing. I put a mark. It's an arrow on all my golf balls. Playing in a tournament directly right after this live stream this morning, so I have to get this done because you have to take the entire box in, and then they check them and they actually stamp the ball because you only get so many balls that you can actually go through, and they randomly pick them out of a box. So got to get this done. Good morning, Kitty Sherry, Inner Peas, Mike. Good morning. I'm almost done. I got a couple more left here. But they're pretty anal about in this tournament that I'm playing in this morning after this live stream. So you show up, you hand them the box, they put a number on the box corresponding to your card, and then they just randomly pick two balls. They're obviously like every golf ball's got a different number on it, so they just randomly pick like two balls or three balls out of the box, and that's all you get for the entire round. And anything more than that, they charge you a stroke for every golf ball. But you have to have them pre-marked if you want them before you show up. So just sitting here with a Sharpie marker, putting my mark on them. I know this is boring. This is not exactly what you guys tuned in for, but I'm almost done. I think I got them all. Make sure. Oh, missed one. But yeah, I ordered them on online, and they didn't come in until this morning, about an hour ago. We have a local company that's kind of like Uber Eats, but you can get other things delivered. And I got these from Dick's Sporting Goods this morning, about an hour ago. And I've been sitting here doing this ever since. So 2 boxes of balls. Good morning, Purple Cement Shoes. Good morning. Rykar, good morning as well. I hope we all had a happy Christmas. You were all able to at least spend it, with your family. If not, hope you were able to do something, just for yourself. Yes, always, everyone, just jump on over to Gemma, like the gem, Gemma. I'll eventually get it right. It just takes time for things to sink into this old head here, Gemma. I'll eventually remember. Ginger, good morning. But I'll eventually remember how to say it and say it correctly. Even though you reminded me for over a year, it takes some time for it to sink in. Smoke them if you got them, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke them if you got them. Hopefully it doesn't trigger anyone, but hey, this is me. This is my life, and this is what I do. Got the TV tray out here. I'm not back there behind the desk. More in front of the camera. I could move the camera back there if I wanted to, but this gives it a little more homier feel. Like, hey, it's just friends just sitting back and talking. I have the crime recap this morning, and we'll do that in just a minute here. Give everybody a little bit of time to join in. Anonymous, good morning. I know it's all good. It becomes our little joke now. It is. Good morning, though, Anonymous. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and you guys all have a Happy New Year. All right. Well, Where is Rykart today? What part of the world is Rykart in? Well, I mean, I'm guessing North America. That's my guess. Glow. Is Glowworm here? Did I miss Glowworm? Slowly scrolling up here. I don't see Glowworm. Why don't I see Glowworm? Nope. Mike Stevens, Sherry. Allah Akbar, Mike. Allah Akbar. I do not see Glowworm. Maybe we're talking about somebody else. No, we have Glow. Kitty Q is saying hello to Glow. Glowworm. Oh, just going by Glow. Good morning and welcome to this morning's crime recap show. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, Glow. All right, get this up on the screen here, ladies and gentlemen. This is this morning's Coffee Brew recap show. These are the cases that I've been following. And obviously, if you've seen my channel, none of these have I covered this past week at all. So they're all going to be new to you. You know, well, you may have read about them or seen them on other channels, but not on my channel. I didn't do anything this week when it came to actually work. But because I took the week off and I said, I'm just going to spend it with my family who was in town. Some of them came like for Thanksgiving. I only got to spend, maybe a day with them, but they flew all the way in from Wisconsin and Michigan. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take time off and spend it with them. And we did some sightseeing and, and learned about the wine industry here in the area where I live. And I mean, some of it was even new to me. Callie Lisa, good morning. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. All right. Oh, so if it's your birthday, I'd like to welcome you and say happy birthday to all those who may have been born just before the end of the year. If it's your birthday, or if you have a birthday coming up soon, happy birthday. All right. Viewer discretion is advised for any content you may see or hear on this channel. All the content is made and intended for adult audiences only. Nothing is marketed or directed at anyone under the age of 18 or under the age of 13 by law. So viewer discretion is strongly advised. Ladies and gentlemen, first one up is Gypsy Rose Blanchard has now been released from prison. She is learning the ropes, of the internet, and the photo you see on the screen is the first Instagram photo that she posted. I've been following, Gypsy Rose on most of her social media accounts for, quite some time. I don't know who opened them for her, but I highly doubt she opened them behind bars. But they have been open for quite some time. Some of them about a year, and some of them a little bit less. But this is her first post to Instagram was a selfie in the motel. After she was released, she went from there to the actual hotel to orientate with her family and her supporters and her new husband. Yes, she is married. Gypsy Rose has a hubby. All right, next one. Kimberly Singer, age 35, is on the run. Take a close look at this photo. As of me putting this together as of yesterday, she is still on the loose. She is wanted for double homicide of killing 2 of her 3 children and attempted murder on the and assault on the 11-year-old daughter. But both of the children, ages 9 and 7, she murdered them both. And she is on the run. She could be anywhere in, I'm guessing, the western part of the U.S. So she could be at a truck stop near you. Mike Stevens, her hubby better toe the line. Da-da-da-da-da. on the I-10 for like 2 hours. Check it out. You get a chance. Hmm. Yep. Gypsy's husband better not upset her. Better not. I mean, she suffers from Munchausen syndrome, and if you read a lot about the story about Gypsy Rose and what took place with her, if somebody did that to me, I think I'd probably fight back a little bit too. I don't necessarily know if I would kill them, but you know, I certainly wouldn't be, laid back and together as she is. All right, next. Ladies and gentlemen, as of the 28th of 2023, we had 632 mass shootings across the lower 48 states. Now, I have to preface that and make sure you understand that that's the lower 48 states only. Alaska and Hawaii will not report any mass shootings, mass casualty events until after the new year. On the 15th is when their numbers come out. But I haven't heard of any that have happened in Alaska or Hawaii. So it probably will stay at 632 unless there happens to be one today or tomorrow. So 632. In case you're wondering, in 2020 there were 610. In 2021 there were 690. And in 2022 there were 647. Obviously, we don't have a gun problem in America. Sarcasm, sarcasm. But people don't want to admit it until something happens to them. And it could happen. You could be walking into your grocery store next week and you could have one happen there, just like it happened to me. You never know. Maybe it's not your kids or your grandkids. Maybe it's just you trying to buy some groceries. And as simple as that. Or pumping gas in your gas station. And you don't even get out of your car. And you're at and maybe you're in a state where they fill gas up for you, or they have full service, gas. It's happened there too. All right, Danny Masterson has now been transferred to the Kern State Prison. This is his lovely mugshot. In case you don't know who Danny Masterson is, he is Clyde from That 70s Show. He has been transferred to the Kern State Prison, where he will be required to undergo treatment and counseling as a sex offender. He has no choice in the matter. He either does it or they transfer him out of Kern Correction Center to, well, a not so lovely, prison somewhere in the state. And it's not going to be easier for him if they transfer him someplace else. So he's best is to go along with the actual unit itself and the counseling and the requirements while he's at the Kern State Prison. He is in what is called a protective custody unit, where they have they're free to move within their actual housing pod itself and building, but they're not allowed to intermingle with general population unit or people. They take care of themselves, all the cleaning, everything else. They're in protective custody because they have to, by law, protect him from himself. And every one of the people in his housing unit are all sex offenders. So it isn't like he's the lone wolf out there trying to survive, where a general population inmate would definitely do something to him. Missing Logan Brown since 2003. His remains have positively been identified this past week, as according to the press announcement. But law enforcement will only say that Logan Bowman's remains have been identified and that charges are forthcoming. They didn't say, if they'll be next week, tomorrow, a month from now, or when. They just said that the charges are forthcoming. But missing Logan Brown has now been returned to his family, and burial is set for next week. They only tentatively listed online a local funeral parlor, that is going to be taking care of the remains, and everything, but nothing more than that. Not a date, not a time is listed on their books online. There isn't even a guest book that you can sign and say online and say, we'll give your condolences to the family. But I'm sure that'll all be up soon. And good morning, Sprinkled Donuts. Welcome to this morning's crime recap. JonBenet Ramsey is in the news again this past week, and quite a few people. Trisha over on Web Sleuth was even commented on this the other night in one of their live streams. But the state is opening up the case to new detectives to have a fresh look at the actual case itself and to see if there's anything that they've actually missed. No, there is no new evidence. And no, the individual who confessed to being the killer of JonBenet Ramsey is still not the person who is of interest or listed as a person of interest in any way at all. Matter of fact, there's actually no evidence that he was even in the state at the time that he supposedly confessed to killing JonBenet Ramsey. But they're just opening up the case to new detectives to have them take a fresh look at it to see if there's anything that they missed or if they have a new idea or direction for where to go on the actual case itself. All right, next one. Glenn Simon, the longest serving exonerated inmate, has finally been freed. He served 48 years and I think 6 months in prison for a murder of Carolyn Rogers that he didn't commit. So you might think to yourself, well, everyone in prison says that they're innocent. He has always maintained his innocence. And now we know that the state withheld evidence from his attorneys, forensic evidence, eyewitness evidence, documents that all prove that he wasn't there and he had no part in the actual homicide of Carolyn Rogers, who was killed, shot once in the head as she entered a liquor store. But he served 48 years of his life. He was 22 years old when he was convicted of this murder. And they tried several times while he was behind bars. Look, there's no reason for you to appeal this. If you just admit guilt to this and sign this, saying that your guilt, will let you out on parole. And that was over 10 years ago. They was when they first started to try to push towards him confessing to it. But he wouldn't do it because he didn't commit the crime. But he's now been released. Yeah, they may owe him $1 billion, Mike, but they're not going to give him anywhere close to that at all. If he gets anything, he may get a small stipend for each and every year that he was behind prison walls. And then on top of that, they could say, okay, we'll give you $100,000 for every year that you were behind bars. So $480,000. And then from that, the state actually has the right to deduct from his actual settlement the cost of actual housing or medical care that he may have used while behind bars. No shit. So we'll give him $480,000, but we can deduct $360 from that for his care and medical and anything else that he used behind bars. And then they say, here is this, but if you take this or you cash this check, you can't sue us. So he's most likely, along with the Innocence Project, is going to have to sue the state to get any type of compensation at all that is anywhat meaningful. But even if you could give him $1 billion, like you said, Mike, that he's owed, how do you give him back the 48 years that he spent behind bars where he was clearly railroaded from the beginning? The state knew that the chances were, even before the trial started, that they had the wrong man then, because they had eyewitness testimony that put another individual there in that liquor store and in front of the liquor store that day. But they still did it anyways. But I'm just happy that he's finally out. Oh, in case anybody's wondering, there is DNA in this as well, but the DNA also exonerated him as well from the crime. So you had your eyewitnesses, you had your forensic evidence, other forensic evidence, you had DNA evidence, all of it. It was all withheld. And the state said, nah, we got the right guy. Even a prosecutor came later on, made a statement to CBS News, who said that he believed that the state did the right job, and they got the right man, and that he wasn't going to even look at the possible evidence to get him released. That happened later on. Because, hey, you know what? We've already got our man. We've got someone serving, more than a life term in prison. This man in jail for so long because he refused to sign a statement, Sprinkle Donuts, that said that he actually did it. All right, our stupid criminal of the week is Michael Sturman, age 56, from White Creek, Montana. Good luck finding White Creek, Montana on the map in Montana, because it doesn't exist. It's just 18 people who live about 70 miles away from Butte, Montana, and they live in a little community off the grid, and they've self-claimed themselves as the White Creek Reservation. No, they're not Native Americans. They're all white, and they have some, let's just say, beliefs that are not exactly real. And one of those is they believe that the earth is flat, and they believe that the country that they reside in is they are an independent sovereign nation inside of the United States. And but there's only like 18 people who live there, and it's like three combined families that make up that 18. But let me tell you about the stupid crimes of Michael Sturman. Get my sheet here out because I didn't have enough room on the screen to even put this all together. These are his arrests just for the year of 2023. Most of these won't come to actual trial or a case of closure until February of 2024. He has been arrested for DUI 3 times in 2023, vehicular assault, writing bad checks. He's been arrested 5 times for theft, 4 times for possession and sales of drugs. 2 times of those were for methamphetamines. 1 time for possession and sale of marijuana over 16 grams. Additionally, on top of that, he's been arrested for domestic violence, violation of a restraining order, sending threats via an electronic communication to a sitting district judge, threats and assault on a law enforcement officer, threats to a sitting legislator in the state of Montana. And then additionally, because he wasn't done yet, he was also arrested in 2023 for making threats to a football player who I have no idea why, but by the name of Joe Mixon. Apparently he didn't like this guy or something, but those are all his crimes for 2023. He is by far the dumbest individual I have come across in all of 2023. Some of these guys were dumb, like they robbed a gas station, went home and opened their beer on the front porch along with all the cash that they stole from the gas station. Dumb things like that, and driving home in a stolen car on top of it. showing up to, and lying on an application using your friend's name for, to try to get a job as a security guard at Ford Field in Detroit. Individual who went the wrong way on the interstate, and when the officer pulled him over, he said that somebody else ran him off the road, and it turns out they were on the wrong side of the freeway, going the wrong way. But this guy takes the cake. And by the way, Sturman is his real last name. He has 8 different aliases, last names that he used. And themselves as well. Yeah. Oh, he's been in and out of they have a county jail, Sprinkle Donuts. It's only 3 cells. And because of the COVID and everything else and the overcrowding, I guess they're just a temporary jail, where they lock people up. They've just been booking him and releasing him on bond. I know it didn't say in the article how many bond violation of bond or probation issues he has, but I'm guessing he's got some up there. All right, next one. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out so far for that. That is all the crime cases that I've been following for 2023 for this week. In a piece, Snooki and Flat Earther. Michael, aka The Situation. Well, we're going to have some Situation and Snooki on tomorrow's trivia. I hope you all tune in tomorrow for trivia. New Year's Eve night, 4 p.m., 7 o'clock on the East Coast. We are doing trivia tomorrow night. Was the first mass shooting at the post office? That's where the term going postal came from. It is glowworm, going postal. It's been a while since I've read or come across an article on someone going postal, shooting up their work environment, a post office. You know what's sad? And this is absolutely true. According to a poll that I read online, I can't remember which news agency actually did it, but school shootings in America have become so common in America over the course of the last 20 years that people are actually gotten to the point where it's not even a shock anymore to the system like it was originally. Now it's, oh, I feel bad for the kid, the kids who were shot and killed. But it doesn't garner the total media. It doesn't garner even the total amount of sympathy anymore because it's so common. We've become complacent upon it all. Excuse me, I'm trying to get the hiccup at the same time. I'm trying to talk. What is the subject of trivia tomorrow night? Cement Shoes. John Wayne Gacy. I told everyone a couple of weeks, maybe it was 3 weeks ago, that I skipped the John Wayne Gacy one. It was supposed to be last week, but I did the holiday special in its place. But this week is John Wayne Gacy. And that way it wraps up all the trivia that I have finished for the year 2023. So, I mean, if I try to put John Wayne Gacy, all the trivia questions into one, the trivia night would probably be like 4 hours, 5 hours long, probably. But because there's so many trivia questions you can ask about Gacy, and I've tried to even I've taken a large chunk of his life, like the early years of his life, and kind of left them aside. Dabbled them here and there within, the trivia nights. Ringing the new year with Pogo. Pogo is just one of the names of his alter ego, his clown name. Pogo the Clown. The early trivia question is on my page on the community tab. Yeah, but I haven't going back to the going postal. I haven't seen a postal shooting in a while. Maybe the postal workers, they don't kill each other anymore. I don't know. It's a good question. No, the last postal shooting was October 20th, 2022 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 27-year-old Brian Simmons, a United States postal worker, shot and killed his supervisor. October of 2022 was the last postal shooting. Are you going to make New Year's resolution and quit smoking, Will? No, I don't make, as a rule of thumb, Kali Lisa, I don't make New Year's resolutions at all, health wise or for anything. I make, and this is just me, but maybe somebody else out there will find this, helpful as well. I make monthly goals. I make a 6-month goal, and then I make a 1 year in goal. So 3 different categories: monthly, 6 months, and year. And that goes for everything: business, health, and sometimes that monthly goal I have to take and I cut it down into weeks or days or even hours. But make small steps, because the small steps will get you closer to the larger goal, as opposed to, this is my goal and I'm going to do it. I'm going to say whatever it is. I'm going to get to the gym and I'm going to lose 30 pounds or whatever. I'm going to get in better health. People make that goal every year, and within 3 months of New Year's, coming around, people stop going to the gym, and and they're like, I failed at my New Year's resolution. Well, instead of doing that, why don't you decide, instead of joining the gym, just go for a walk around the block? Maybe instead of having that double cheeseburger for dinner tonight because you're busy, you sit down and you have, a small sandwich and a salad. Instead of snacking on Cheetos, you decide to have just plain white popcorn. You can, there's a lot of things. My point is, you will to get towards that goal, and you can start hourly, weekly, daily, weekly, to accomplish your goals at the end of 1 month. So that's why I don't do New Year's resolutions. Was one of the worst and craziest. First original lethal injection mishap couldn't have happened to a better man. Oh, I love Cheetos. So does my son. He loves the puffy Cheetos. He didn't like the crunchy ones. We're all go. Every one of us has got a goal that we would. Maybe it's not health. Maybe it's to build a stronger relationship with our children or our grandchildren, or mend a a relationship that has drifted apart with somebody else. And even if they don't want to reciprocate, you can still do things to open that door, to build a better relationship. Cheesy puffs, yeah. But I hope everyone, if you do make New Year's goals, take it and break it down into realistic daily goals. You'll be surprised how much more you can get accomplished every day. It doesn't matter. I don't know how to turn this brain off because I'm constantly going. I make daily goals on everything for my business and for my life. It's like, and after a while, doing it, even daily goals, is you say to yourself, Today was a better day than yesterday. I approach, you'll get to the point where you'll, approach, subjects, or issues in a different way. Well, if I just tell that person to go F themselves, because, well, they're pissing me off, how is that going to get you anywhere tomorrow? I mean, it feels goddamn good. Sorry for taking the Lord's name in vain, though. It feels, good to tell someone to go F themselves, especially if they're pissing you off. But where's that going to get you? The anger and everything else that you build up inside, it's not going to get you anywhere. How's my daughter? Inner peace, she's doing better. She's still having issues with on and off again migraines, and feeling lethargic, but she's getting better. She's at least able to sleep now and comfort, but she's still having some body pain. Her friend Jeff is doing better as well. So, but it's going to take some time for them to heal up. But they've opened a claim against the other drivers' insurance for their medical and everything else. But that's as far as I know what they're doing on that side of it. I haven't had a lot of time to talk to her or to Jeff, besides on Christmas, but it wasn't exactly the number one conversation topic around the table. If you watch True Crime and Crochet, it's a wash. The crocheting doesn't get done, or the day is a wash. You're going to start crocheting again. I'm paying my daughter $250 to make me a table runner for my buffet table. I used to have one that was it's not crochet, it's that fine needle point at work. I can't remember what they call it, but let's just say it's done with needles, right? So that's how much I know about this stuff. It's not embroidery thread, but it's thicker than embroidery. It's a little bit thicker than embroidery thread. But anyways, I'm paying her $250 to make one. I had one before, but it got destroyed. Cross stitch, kitty Q. It could be that. I don't know what the name of it is though. It's fine thread, and there's a giant thing that she like design. It starts off as a star pattern, and then the runners. The whole thing is like 6 feet long by about 2.5 feet wide. New Year's goal is to be a better person. There you go. That's a good goal. Needlepoint could be. I don't know. We'll have your daughter get Dogs Pierce for migraine. And I don't know what that is, but I'll suggest it to her, Purple. They have her on medication for the migraines right now. Will Radcar be walking on water? My mom did all kinds of sewing. Yeah, she's with the help of her grandmother, my mother-in-law. She's helping her learn how to sew. She's got a sewing machine, and she's been buying the fabric and the bobbins and thread and all that slowly, but just trying to right now. I think she's made like a couple like little pouch, like bags. It could be cross stitch purple. I don't know what it actually called. I mean, one of you we all could have guessed it already, and I wouldn't know. I just know it's just done with really fine thread. And I know we had doilies and stuff that were done by my great grandmother, and they were all like an off white, like tannish color. And I've got maybe two of those left. No, I know I have two. I might have a third that's been torn or came apart over the years. But the two that we have are on end tables in our living room underneath the lamps. But your inner child. Anyway, if you make New Year's resolutions, just take it slowly. Don't be in a rush and say, "God, I got to get all this done, and I have to be a better person by next week or by the end of the year." You never know just how much you can go just a little bit at a time as you work along towards that goal. Stress is a large thing that a lot of people should be working on, is reducing the amount of stress you have in your life, because it takes years off of your life. I had some from my grandmother, was tattering. Good morning, Karen. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew Crime Recap Show. I hope you had a Merry Christmas, Karen. Thank you for joining us. Your mom did all kinds of sewing. Yeah, I can sew basic things. I can I can put on a button, sew a button on a shirt. I know how to use a needle and thread, basic stuff like that. I can sew up a suture. I know how to do that. It's in the ear. I had mine pierced 8 years ago, and have been migraine free ever since. Okay, well, Purple. I will definitely let her know about that. I don't know if they're expecting the migraines to go away, because obviously she didn't have them before the car accident, but she does now. But she's been, since the accident. Her and Jeff have both been off work since then, while they've been healing up. Hi, and happy 2024, everyone. Well, happy 2024 to you too, Karen. The inner child. That'd be an awesome YouTube name, Will. I can't remember who was asking me the other day, but was it? I don't want to throw any names out there, but you guys are aware, right? And I say you guys as in you ladies and men. Um, I have several different YouTube channels. I don't just have 411 now. I have a CDXI, which is the Roman numerals for 411. And so CDXI now is another channel that I have. Then I have the Taco Podcast, which is a channel I do with my wife. We talk about, just our existence and raising our son, who is on the autism spectrum. And then I have Everything Sucks. It's another channel that I do. So when you're not seeing content here on this channel, there's a very good chance that I've released content on one of these other channels already. But yeah, so I have 5 channels total. One is on private right now, but there are 4 right now that I'm releasing content on, weekly, daily in some aspects. Like CDXI, all the content on that are either comedy skits, or they're clips from stand up, or they're, stupid dad jokes that I find funny, but it's all 60-second or less videos. Everything on that channel. The Taco Podcast, anywhere, the content on that is normally about a half-hour episode. But we used to do, we're kind of changing because that Taco Podcast, a lot of people, they're like, yeah, you guys are boring. We hear that a lot. And maybe we're not, but we are. I guess in the visual side of it, because the Taco Podcast started off as a real podcast and there was no video to it at all. And all that content, like 2.5 years of it was on SoundCloud. And there's no video that was ever shot for like 160 episodes of that. But it was a real podcast. And then we got into a dispute with SoundCloud, and we stopped producing it on SoundCloud, and then started shooting video and audio only, and releasing it on YouTube. So, yeah, it's supposed to be an actual real podcast where if you just listen to it, there's never anything displayed on the screen that is going to be really of interest, unless you want to look at me and my wife sitting there talking to each other. But like I said, I don't know how to turn this off. I'm constantly working, thinking of new ideas, working on improving my content and how it's delivered, when it's delivered, all of it. And then at the same time, trying to work on myself to better who I am as an individual, for my family and for myself. Don't ever do things for other people before you do things for yourself. Because if you don't improve yourself, you're not going to be very useful or helpful to other people. You love the Taco Podcast? Well, thank you, Rykard. I know there's quite a bit, like we have like 380 subscribers or something like that over there. And it's down about 109. I think 109. We lost like 109 subscribers. That was like about a year ago. We're gaining them back though. It's not like it was like recently. They're like, oh, we're out of here, and they left. Which I always find funny. People comment, I'm out of here. I'm unsubscribing. Okay. You have to have that. I didn't tell people that, hey, you have to subscribe and stay. I remember one episode of the Taco Podcast where Tim and his wife were on there with you. Well, you might be somewhat correct there, Cement Shoes. I've had Tim on the Taco Podcast before, along with my sister. I've had other guests on there. We've had probably, well, when we had the regular podcast, we had probably about 40 different guests in like the first 2.5 years before we did the third. We moved from SoundCloud over to YouTube. But when we moved to YouTube, we've had probably about 12. But none of them have ever been Tim's wife. Tim is a confirmed bachelor for the rest of his life. He was married before. He has 2 kids from his marriage to his first wife and only wife. He's been a confirmed bachelor ever since. But yeah, it may have been an episode where Tim was on with my sister or another guest, but definitely not Tim's wife. But that could be confusing itself. I don't think he was on with anyone he was dating either. But then again, we've been doing it for so long. I think, hell, I'd have to actually go back and look. Isn't that fun though, Rykard? YouTube unsubscribes. Yeah, happens all the time. And there isn't anything that any creator, who is on their platform can do about it. You can, if you watch your subscriber count, you can watch it go up and down. People who've been here forever, like Cement Shoes, I think has had to resubscribe to this channel three times, four times. And it will unsubscribe people. It's there. If and the one and only thing that YouTube has told us creators out there, and they actually have a video on it on their, in Creator Insider, that's the name of their channel, is if you're watching the content, maybe you subscribe to 90 different channels, okay? But when you pull up your phone or your tablet or whatever device it might be, and you're watching only from the suggested videos, which is the very top of the actual home screen, because up here it's like the YouTube and then the search box. But if you watch only videos from that, even if you're subscribed to the channel over on your right, drop down menu, if you only click there to watch content, they will see that you're not clicking on your actual subscriptions, who you are subscribed to, even though you're watching it from the actual suggested videos or the next one down, which is going to be your larger, I'll like content. Okay, you watched 411 and you like crime. Here's some other crime channels, and here's a brand new channel, like with maybe like 10 subscribers. Because that's one of the things that they're doing now is with the algorithm is they're throwing brand new channels in with well-established channels on the next section down and the next one. So you'll see either sponsored or an actual new channel that's in the same genre as those suggestions. But if you're not clicking on the name over to all the way to the left-hand side, it says that you're not interested in that content anymore, and it unsubscribes you. That's what YouTube has said on Creator Insider. Now, is that true? I kind of believe it, but then again, I kind of don't believe it at the same time, because why would they not fix that? Oh, if you're clicking on the suggested video and you're watching it, it should tell the algorithm that you're watching it. Why does it matter where on the damn screen you're clicking on it to watch on? And why would they not fix that if they know it's an issue? I think it's something to do with their computer system. It just randomly just picks people and says, unsubscribe from this channel and see if they come back. I think that's what it is more. Tim used to always be on Saturday Night Lives. Yeah, he did. That's when he used to live here. Now, he lives 230 miles away now. So it's kind of hard to have him on. I've tried to work something out, and so is Tim, where I would do like a live stream, and he'd be on one half of the screen, and then he'd be on the other half. But then YouTube changed their excuse me their rules on music and copyrights, and then they said, well, even if you want to clip this music and put it in a video, you can pay royalties up front. It's a money grab. It's all money grab. Every bit of it is. You can grab, you can use this music. We're going to add a little fee to that music for us, and then we're going to give this little bit to the creator. Oh, did you make your own music? We're going to add a little fee on top of that, and then we're going to give you your share. It's a money grab, YouTube. I mean, $1 billion corporation just getting richer and richer off of other people's work. AI sucks. I tried using AI this past year, right, Cart? I did some videos that were 100% AI suggested, topic, and then just the topics that were suggested. And then I did AI with just questions for trivia night. And I tried other ones where it was AI suggested the title, thumbnail, and the actual content itself. It didn't work. Some of them are very biased, depending upon which one you use. I used everything from Chat GPT on. I tried to Google one. I tried to, the suggestions, but I didn't see any difference in actual viewership or people are retained longer. But I gave it a shot. I think that's why they do it to see if you're paying attention and notice your subscription is gone. It might be there might be an element to that. Cement Shoes sends all those trucking notifications on YouTube because you heard you talk about truck stops the other day. Um, yeah, there's some of that, right, Kurt? But then there's also all right. This is the I'm going to remove a little bit of the veil of me and what do I watch on YouTube. I watch a lot of heavy equipment channels. Um, my favorite is a friend of mine, Matt, has a channel, and it's called Diesel Creek, and he does repair on derelict, equipment, abandoned road construction, bulldozers, stuff like that. He buys them. He has an addiction to it because, especially if you watched yesterday's video, there were a lot of stuff there that I didn't even know he had. But he buys stuff, at auctions and other places, or pulls it out of the weeds or whatever, and then fixes it up and then uses it for his actual business. But I like to watch that kind of content. I always have. That's just looking behind the veil. So along with that, I've also watched other channels that are not necessarily about trucking, but like long haul truckers. The reality show, which is actually not all that much reality. A lot of that was fixed. But I was really interested in that when that first came out. So they're suggesting to me a lot of trucking videos, not only because we were talking about trucking, but because it also fits along with what I actually do watch and what I subscribe to. And I've just always been interested in that. I've had quite a few members of my family who've been in the long haul trucking industry. I've had my CDL at one point. Now, I never used my CDL for anything more than moving tanker trucks around. I worked for a chemical company at one point, quite a few years back, almost 20, let's just say 20 plus years ago. But I worked for a chemical company, and I have to move tankers around on the property that were owned by the company itself. That we would pull in and pull out and move up and down the roads or whatever. And then sometimes we had a smaller truck that I had to have a CDL for because I hauled bio waste. It not biological like human waste, but it was waste from the containment pit. We would pump it out and then we'd take it to a farm where it would be sprayed as fertilizer. It was good fertilizer. It was just excess, washouts and stuff like that. But I did that for a while. So I've always had that interest in the background. Creepy Machine's always listening. Yeah. And one trivia night where you named a bunch of different topics right after I got tons of suggested videos about the topics. Oh, like when I was talking about dog grooming, Cement Shoes. Oh, my entire YouTube was filled with dog and pet grooming, and some guy who has like a pet lobster. I don't know why I would be suggested that stuff. Yes, dog grooming, LOL. Oh my God, that I had so much of that. It filled up all my live feeds and everything. But right now, for like the last, I'd say about 4 months, whenever I click on the live, to see what channels are live, it's all basketball or marbles or matchbox car racing. That's a 99.9% of it. And I might get one or two other suggestions, and they're all like, hate to say it, but racially or ethnically motivated content, like my race is better than your race kind of stuff, but not blatantly racist. It's just, let's talk about, and this is, I'm not kidding, but black and beautiful, and the only thing that we're talking about is how beautiful this race is over that race. There's content out there like that. They don't say that they're racist, but they are, because I've sat and watched them. And it's like, that's racist, and they're like, oh, okay, and how to promote, this race over another race, and I mean, this has been suggested to me, so I can either watch marbles running down a dirt track, and which marble is going to be first, or which Matchbox car is going to go down the plastic track the fastest. Uh huh. I'm not making fun of you if you actually like this stuff, but I'm just saying I'm not interested in that. But that's what keeps on being suggested to me. Or basketball, college football. I don't watch this stuff, nor do I have any interest in it. But that's what my live feed is now, for like at least the last 4 months, before the dog videos and then after the dog suggestions. Said along the same line, right, Cart? I when my daughter was learning, how to drive, to get her license and stuff, I always told her, if you're behind, a semi or a big truck, even if it's a UPS truck, if you can't see them in the mirror, they can't see you. Y'all can take that advice to heart. Following some of these damn trucks on the freeway, I see so close. It's like, I think you're trying to catch up the break from the wind so you can ease down the highway faster. It's like, why are you less than a car length behind that truck? You're gonna get your ass killed. Good morning, because it's 65. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. Right now, the crime recap is over with. We're just doing chat and having coffee, tea, or whatever you want. It is 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Not p.m. 9 a.m. Oh, there it is. I remember where I put my phone. Got to find out time I have to be there. I gotta take off here soon. I gotta be at the golf course in 40 minutes. You can't see them. They certainly the hell can't see you. It's 12 o'clock where you are, Kitty Q. See, what is December 30th? December 30th. This is from Serial Killer Calendar. This day in killer history. Today is Roy Copeland. December 30th, 1914 through October 19th, 1993. And Faye Dell Wilson Copeland, August 4th, 1921 to December 23rd, 2003. Became at the ages of 76 and 69, respectively, the oldest couple ever sentenced to death in the United States. They were convicted of killing 5 drifters at their farm in Missouri. When her sentence was commuted to life in prison in 1999, Faye Copeland was the oldest woman on death row. December 30th, 2023. It's DPS and DMV's job to educate that about that, Will. Reichardt, in Washington State, where I live, They just passed the law. They're now going to put driver's ed back into the high schools in my state. Now they have to work out a lot of the logistics of that. Will it be private companies who are going to do this through the high schools? But they're requiring that the driver's license is now required for anyone to get a permit or to get a driver's license from up to the age of 24. Because you wouldn't, I'm sure you probably know it if you've driven in this state. The amount of people who don't have even the basic understanding of a car and what a car can do. And they found that when they took driver's eds out of schools, they found that it didn't actually reduce the amount of fatalities. The fatality rate went up, and those who and the cost to the actual school system was supposed to go down. It actually went up. So they're reintroducing it back into the schools. Golf. I hope Tim is joining you. No, he is not. He is at home. He lives about 230 miles away from me. Don't forget your balls. Now my golf clubs are just outside my studio here. I got to put them in the bag before I even leave. I can't leave the door and get out the door without running into my clubs, so I won't forget them. But thank you, Cement Shoes. I'm a kick you. But ladies and gentlemen, I do have to take off though. I have to get to the golf course, and it's about a 20-minute drive, just to get there once I leave my house. But everyone, I want to say thank you again for hanging out with me for the last coffee brew of 2023. I will see you all again on the flip side of the calendar in 2024. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. And if you have the opportunity, you're not doing anything for New Year's Eve night, we are doing trivia tomorrow night here on this channel tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or it's the same time, 7 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. So East Coast, West Coast. If judge accordingly, whichever time zone you need to. But everyone, thank you again for hanging out with me today, and you all have a great day. Bye. Drive safe out there on those roads, Rackard. Crazy people out there.